I'm running a business. That's striking me right now. Mr. Tisha has finished to be comparative.
Very much certain that Olegario Montoya isn't the father of Fabiola, for her real father was Tulio, your brother.
I have a reservation.
Yes, and your name?
Gonzalez. Helena Gonzalez.
I hope you'll be happy. Alonso, be happy. Go quickly.
Those idiots! How dare they? Who gave them the right? They made fun of us!
Lower your voice, Malena. They'll hear you.
You didn't hear me well. That's not what I said.
No, I heard you perfectly, Malena. You said that you were not going to have a son.
Amparo, don't do anything that you could regret later on.
The only one who's going to regret something is my father.
Las Bandidas.
I can't stop the race. Say the word. Chop, shabba, dabba, shabba, dabba, chop, chop, shabba, dabba. Shida. Just like I dreamed it would be. Oh my commanding wife, she wants to destroy my life. Oh my commanding wife, she wants to destroy my life.
A stage play of Sarafina musical went down.
Mr. and Miss Soweto went down at Kahawa Primary School.
Outside of this music, outside of this thing that I've loved all my life, I realized that it was taking me to where I need to be.
The name is Degs. Basically, I've been a music producer and artist in the game. Started off with Scamares, which was my first track with Mad Tracks.
Bensol got to perform with the orchestra.
Siku zinasonga sambamba na matukio yanavyojiri.
Kuyajua hayo, mbali na hamasa zilizopo kwengineko, shirika la utangazaji KBC limejitolea kuhakikisha ubora wa matangazo yasiyo na chuku.
Darubini huangazia mengi ya kusini na kaskazini, mashariki na magharibi, na kukuwasilishia kwa njia stahiki.
Ufasaha, usawa, uketo, pasipo kuegemea upande wowote.
Iwapo hutakishaka kwa unachoarifiwa, Darubini itakidhi mahitaji yako. Jina langu ni Nancy Onyancha.
Na mimi ni Harith Salim.
Jina langu ni Gladys Mungai.
Mimi ni Ahmed Jumabalo.
Nami ni Sarafina Robi.
KBC, angazo la Wakenya.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's
it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports,
drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
To keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
What was ordered is different from what was delivered.
Unajua ng'ombe ilitoka anakaa kama farasi.
What are you doing? Angalia.
Pole. Unaona kitu yoyote? Mimi niko na shida akiriri. Mimi si chailoko ya kukukopechanga na ulipi.
Wamepatia mimi all sorts of medication. P3, P2, OB, yote mimi iko naye.
Mchomanaji wa chai moto wa customer ni nani?
Ni wewe.
Enta fungwa peke yako.
Ni kuviga unaviga?
Ni kukamua na kamua.
Nilisema ngwe.
Bogaka! Allah! Bogaka!
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports,
drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
To keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
Good afternoon. You are in time for the Lunchtime News. A very warm welcome to the broadcast. My name is Irene Mchuma Odem. On sign language interpretation, we have Anne Wangeshi. It is the second day in the month of September 2024. We have the latest developments, including the devolution scorecard and also a strike at the Technical University of Kenya. Let's interact on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. The university's academic staff union at the Technical University of Kenya is on strike following the elapse of a notice it issued on the 26th of August. WASU is demanding the payment of salaries as per the 2017-2021 CBA and prompt remittance. of statutory deductions and loans.
Midnight, the 7 days, and today we are here to officially declare to the public and the employer that there shall be no learning, meetings, supervision, workshops, nothing that involves members of the academic staff will take place until our issues are adequately addressed. We want respect as employees of these institutions, and more so members of the academic staff. We want dignity when we do our work. We do not want to be treated like we are members of a second-rate university in this university. We have one university, not two universities.
We don't offer 65% services.
We do not work at any percentage. We work 100%.
Yes.
And so, our treatment as employees must also be commensurate. We had 6 items in the strike notice. Number 1, we want to be paid salaries like any other university, not at a rate lower than what the government is paying other universities. Number 2, we want remittance of our statutory and third-party deductions. NHIF,
Yes.
NSSF,
Yes.
pension,
Yes.
KRA,
Yes.
bank loans,
Yes.
SACCO loans,
Yes.
insurance, and many other statutory deductions. Our colleagues who have been taken to court by financial institutions because the employer has made deductions and has not remitted. We feel for them, but we will take the employer to court beginning today, so that we are paid for embarrassment by being dragged to court when we have actually paid our loans.
Yes.
Number 3, working conditions. We are supposed to work under conditions that are recognized nationwide and countrywide as provided for under the Employment Act and the Labor Relations Act.
It is our right.
We will not accept to work like slaves in this era.
We are not slaves.
We will not do that. Slaves used to offer cheap labor, and we are not going to offer cheap labor in this institution. Because we are not slaves.
Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata has been ranked as the overall best performing governor in the country at 62%, followed by his Kwale counterpart Fatuma Achani at 60% and George Natembeya at 58.9%. A comprehensive assessment of county governance and development on 2-year devolution scorecard 2022-2024 conducted by Timely Kenya also ranks Governor Amos Nyaribo of Nyamira as the least performing governor at 13.5%. Dado Godana of Tana River, Benjamin Cheboi of Baringo, and Isatimami of Lamu also appeared among the least performing at 16%, 19.8% and 21% respectively. The assessment also focused on performances in health, education and roads, among other sectors. Kenyans will now be able to track completed and ongoing government projects online. This is after Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua launched an online platform dubbed Presidential Directives Management Information System that would track, record and report on the implementation of governments. At the same time, the Deputy President also launched the Foreign Travels Information Management System that will capture data on foreign travels by the President, Deputy President, Cabinet Secretaries, Principal Secretaries, Chairpersons and CEOs of parastatals for prudent use of public resources.
Presidential Directives Management Information System, PDMIS, will record, track and report on the implementation of presidential directives, replacing manual dispatch methods and providing robust feedback and reporting mechanisms. Commissioning of the Foreign Travel Management Information System, FORTIMS, therefore, is not only exciting but also truly necessary. It automates the travel clearance processes by enhancing the ease and efficiency of application, processing and approval. The system will support the implementation of the government austerity measures, increase efficiency and transparency of the process, which all go to restore trust and accountability.
Rasmi tunapata ule uzinduzi wa mifumo hii miwili ya PDMIS na vile vile FORTIMS.
The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers in Homa Bay County has vowed not to relent in their strike until a return-to-work agreement is signed. Learning in several public secondary schools across the country have been paralyzed as the teachers' strike enters its second week. Co-peters emphasize that their grievances in the ongoing strike extend beyond concerns about teachers' welfare and is fundamentally about protecting the educational rights of Kenyan children.
We are saying that we are not going back to class until our demands are heard and addressed.
We want to ask the Teachers Service Commission to stop the intimidation forthwith. We want to remind our heads of institutions that this particular strike event is actually protected. They should join us, allow our colleagues to be here so that we fight together to a logical conclusion of this matter. We are frustrated in our working stations. The government should consider us and should absorb all the 46 interns. And we are not going to stop.
The spouse of Deputy President Dorcas Rigathi has called on leaders and other stakeholders in Embu County to mentor young people and guide them on the effects of drug abuse that has led to many mental health challenges. Pastor Dorcas, who was speaking during the 2024 annual Diocesan Women Prayers and Investment Rally at the ACK Cathedral of St. Peter's, Siakago in Mbere, urged women to work hard and invest in supporting their families. Mbere Diocese ACK Bishop Dr. Moses Masamba applauded women from the region for their efforts in investment and food production and urged leaders to help locals access markets for the green grams, which is their main cash crop.
Mungu ameweka ndani ya kina mama nguvu ambazo ni za tofauti sana, kwa sababu Mungu alipoumba mwanamke alimpatia hata nafasi ya kupata kufanya biashara, kununua shamba, kufanya biashara mahali kote. Lakini kwa wakati huu naona kila siku mkiangalia kina mama mnaona tu ni bibi wa nyumbani, lakini tumesema ministry ambayo au huduma ile Mungu ameweka katika mama, ya kwanza ni ya kwake nyumbani, ya pili ni kuipanua iwe kwa kanisa na kwa jamii yote na kwa taifa na mataifa.
Lakini najua hapa wanaweza kulima ndengu hata tanza simunawaza ile iko tuni market, charity market. Najua Mungu anaweza kutumia the excellency au tutalima ndengu tukiwa jitanze ngapi ufunguliwe soko ya nje ili kina mama kina baba familia economy ya nyumbani iweze kuinuka.
To environmental matters, to limit global temperatures to within 1.5 degrees Celsius and triple renewable energy by 2030, different communities in the country have resorted to different forms of renewable energy. This comes as residents of Imenti South, Meru County, now explore the use of smokeless briquettes using maize cobs and other types of locally available materials such as dry leaves and macadamia nuts huskers.
At Mitungu Energy Center in Imenti South, Meru County, training is ongoing on how to make biomass using maize cobs and other types of locally available material, such as dry leaves and macadamia nuts husks. Later on, we meet a group that is watching in awe at the production of smokeless briquettes. A technical assistant with Future at Play project lead, Teresia Wangae, takes us through the process.
The first thing is we map our resources, maize cobs and everything. So we taught them how to map and collect their resources, different months, carbonize them with machines that we have, crush, mix, taught them all the steps that are needed, the ratios and everything, and finally to produce and dry.
Compared to other sources of energy such as charcoal and firewood, the smokeless briquettes are considered better as they also minimize respiratory-related illnesses.
Briquettes ilika linasaidia kwa sababu halina moshi, lina uwezo wa kutumika hata kwa mtu ambaye ako na asthma ama ile ugonjwa wa asthma kwa sababu halitamuaffect juu ya kwa sababu halina moshi.
The project, which is funded by Canada Climate Action Africa, seeks to work with communities by training how to produce the briquettes manually.
It's also about empowering communities, protecting our environment, and empowering the quality of life for countless families.
The residents, who include people living with disabilities and youths, have expressed gratitude to the initiative that's also helping create job opportunities.
Inaweza kusaidia sisi kwa maneno yetu na tutauza tutapata pesa kama watu wanasafiri wakijua maneno yote, hakuna mtu ambaye kwa maskini anaenda kuomba kwa barabara.
Tukijieka bisi kutengeneza ili kaa, hatutakuwa na ile wakati wa kwenda kutumia madawa.
Now that we have known how to do it, we are very ready to go out and sell our briquettes to our supermarkets, schools, and others.
The trainees were awarded certificates and urged to train other community members.
The challenges now we have as we go out is that we doesn't have the machines to make the briquettes, but we hope our county will be lended to support us.
The initiative is considered a step in the right direction in the fight against climate change, as more residents are urged to adopt the use of renewable energy such as the smokeless briquettes to limit global temperatures by 1.5 degrees Celsius and triple renewable energy by 2030. Serafina Robi for Lunchtime News.
Universities and other institutions of higher learning have been urged to establish gender resource centers to address the rising cases of gender-based violence (GBV) in their learning institutions. Speaking to the media art and an art feminist workshop organized by the Wikimedia Kenya user group at Pwani University, Reverend Dr. Dorcas Juma, a senior lecturer at the university, emphasized that gender-based violence cases at higher learning institutions have significantly escalated. She stressed that the centers would simplify the reporting process for students experiencing gender-based violence while also enabling institutions to monitor and respond to incidents more effectively.
A female student just within the premise of the university who was brutally murdered. So one of the things that I think we have not done here in Pwani University is to establish a gender resource center where students can access help.
We have the right laws, and around sexual offenses, the problem only comes when it comes to implementation. So there are a lot of gaps that are there. People would wish that the offenses could, or rather the penalties could be made even much more strict.
Expectant mothers from Bwagamoyo village in Mwawesa ward, Rabai sub-county in Cliffy County, will no longer have to travel long distances to get maternity services after a private organization constructed a maternity ward for them. The 10-bed capacity facility was officially launched by Kilifi Deputy Governor Flora Chibule and coins for Kenya Director Jason Shisuve at Bagamoyo Dispensary, where the former said it will serve more than 2,000 residents.
Jengo hili limewekwa hususan
kwa sisi kina mama. Tuzae mahali pa kuheshimika. Tuna madaktari, ni shukuru mstahiki gavana wetu Gideon Maitha Mng'aro. Katika riwaza yake nyinyi mwenyewe mwaelewa. Kweli riwaza yake ni mambo 10, lakini mambo 4 wameweza kuyapa kipaumbele. Yakiwamo afya ambayo ndio maana tuko leo mahali hapa.
Idadi ya watoto kuzaliwa imepungua sana. Na nilikuwa nikiambiwa kwamba ni sababu hakuna maternity. Hivi maternity imejengwa.
Now, this is a big one. People try a lot of things to unwind, if only to cope with the hustle and bustle of life. But have you ever thought of trying sound therapy with use of sound bowls, gongs, and other instruments? Sound therapy is meant to help you relieve stress and move you to a place of self-awareness and healing. Mariambo shares her experience after visiting the Enso Sound Studio in Nairobi County.
Nairobi County, the melodies of the singing bowls and the vibrations of the gong echo through the Enso Sound Immersion Studio as my colleagues and I try sound therapy. During the sound therapy, Alia Datu, a doctor of metaphysics, played instruments.
So whenever somebody comes here, the first thing I tell them is be open to the experience, and secondly, surrender and let go to the sounds.
But what is sound therapy?
So I'll tell you what, Marie, we are made, I think 75% to 80% of our bodies is made up of water, right? And sound basically creates ripples. It's like you take a pebble and throw a pebble in a still lake, and you see the ripples going all across the lake. That's what sound does. And it creates vibrations in your body, so your body feels those reverberations of different instruments and sounds.
Upon entry into the studio, Alia handed us eye masks and encouraged us to let go of the worries of the day.
And with each breath that you take, I want you to start to relax.
Then she began playing the instruments, creating a symphony of sounds.
As you pass through this iridescent light,
each instrument bringing us closer and closer to the sounds of nature. And who does not like the sound of rain? During the half-hour group session, Alia told us to move as little as possible. She then placed the balls on our bellies for us to feel the vibrations as she played. What has been the impact on the people she helps, I ask?
so many people who've walked out of here, if I can use their words to describe what goes through here, they get into, they experience a great sense of bliss, lots of peace, lots of calm, lots of clarity. We've had people who've come in here with insomnia, for example, and having had a sound healing session, they've managed to, get back to healthy sleeping patterns. We've had people who've come with depression and other emotional issues who've managed to find great sense of release once they're here. We also cater to, we've done sessions, for example, for people who are audibly impaired or the deaf as well, and they've experienced vibrations through the instruments, and that's left them feeling much more calm and at ease. So it's a great way to treat ailments like anxiety, depression. It's a great way to gain better clarity. If you've got, migraines and stuff, sound healing also helps you with that as well.
How often should someone do sound therapy, and what are the benefits?
Daily, so for different reasons and different things. We cater to groups, so we have people coming in for their bridal showers, we have people coming in for their birthdays, girlfriends gifting each other a nice session for their birthday. It's a beautiful way to start your solar year or solar return. We also do sound healing sessions for corporates. This is becoming a very interesting addition to corporate team building sessions as well, because this brings a lot of peace and calm to corporates. You can slowly roll over onto the right side.
At the end of the therapy, we all felt a sense of calm reverberating through us.
This experience for me has been the best in terms of the sound, because you can walk in nature, but I don't think it can come to anything close to the vibrations that, the instruments are giving.
what I took away was weightlessness. That's what I felt. And I saw streaks of purple whirling around.
It was amazing. I feel my body relaxed. I wish I could do this for a couple of days.
So it's not uncommon. Even the body temperature changes. Somebody felt their feet and their hands going cold. Someone felt tingles. So all these are actually positive signs that energy is actually flowing in your body.
Maria Ambo reporting for KBC Channel 1.
Thank you, Marie. It's 21 minutes past the top of the hour. We are taking our first commercial break. When we'll return, we'll be giving you the latest in the world of business, sports, and also we have the tales of the Tana by Serafina Robi. Stay with us.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downside of technological innovation in a world that is becoming increasingly dependent on new digital technologies. Every Monday at 10:30 p.m.
Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News. Welcome back. Now, rain is often considered a blessing as it signifies life. However, too much of it changes the story from that of life to one of death, destruction, and displacement. Similarly, the circle of life presumes that after the rain, the sun will shine, and after the pain, the joy will resume. However, this presumption fails to hold water for over 27,800 households living in Tana River County. Months after they were displaced due to heavy rains, they remain shackled in temporary structures, can barely afford a meal a day, and their hope of a sunny day is clouded by desperation. Our reporter Serafina Robi brings us tales from the Tana, where these families remain trapped, only dreaming of sunshine after the rains and joy after the pain.
It is what would appear to be an oxymoron of life.
This is our situation, which has become like a song, just like our forefathers used to sing and dance kitoko.
A reality that continues to plague them months after they were displaced owing to heavy rains. They pitched camp here, both the young and the old. This is their new home.
Hapa tunakuja sasa, tumekuja hapa kukaa. Naje nimekuwa nyingi mpaka nimekuja kwa ile nyumba. Tunatoka na kule tunakuja hapa. Ukikaa kule utakufa.
They only managed to escape with their lives. An escape that was not without incident, as they were forced to not only flee from the floods, but also from snakes and other poisonous insects that were equally displaced by the raging waters.
Hatari, nyoka ina nyoka ameruka ameingia kwa nguo, mtoto yuko mgongoni. Ile nyoka maisha hii yote mimi nimekaa hapa sijaona. Ile ambayo mimi nimeona barabarani ni nyeusi, kichwa yake kama mbuzi, kichwa kubwa.
Ilicha hao manyoka na viboko, wamama wajawazito hawezi wakafikia. Hata kuna mwingine siku kama hiyo aliza pahali kazunguka kina mama, ambapo ikiwa ni aibu kina mama pazunguka hapo pahali.
Kwa ni saa 6 usiku wameingia, nikashika mkono mtoto huyu mdogo nimefunga hapo.
The temporary structures offer protection from the vagaries of the weather, but do little to provide them with the security of having a permanent roof over their heads.
Barabara kama haya, sisi wenye hatuna mabwana. Hivyo mwenye bana vile hawezi kufunga kufuli, si ndio? Akora bibi yake pale analala. Mimi sina bwana. Hapo si mtu ataweza kuninyemelea usiku.
Wakilala wanaweza kusikia kama kuna mtu ananyapa kujaribu kuingia kwa haya mahema. So hayo pia imekuwa ni janga lingine.
Here, eating a meal a day is considered a luxury owing to scarcity of food and clean water.
Kula chai tu asubuhi. Paka mchana ndo tena napata chakula. Mara nyingine huwa nalala na njaa.
Watu waliumia na njaa kwa sababu chakula yao wameacha kule, imeenda na maji.
It's a shame that we import wheat from Egypt and yet we have the River Tana and the entire basin where we could grow the same thing. Here we could grow rice, we could grow so much.
Their troubles are compounded with the fact that most families were left penniless after the water swept away their livestock, which was the main source of livelihood.
Mafuriko imeingia na mafuriko imebeba, maji imebeba na chakula ya shamba yake imebebwa na maji, akakimbia akaja hapa. Huwa wakati huo huwezi okoa yule mifugo yako, utaokoa ile mwili ya mwanadamu.
Nikiwa ndani liko na mahindi ambayo bado hayajafika, yanaanza kuzaa sasa yako saizi hiyo. Haijafika mbali, yani kiwango cha kuwa anaweza katia chakula nikakula. Maji yalikuja akaingia na usiku, saa 7 usiku, mpaka tulilala juu ya miembe.
In Hula, we meet Fatuma Omari Balaga. She was born in 1957. She narrates to us how over the years the situation has gone from bad to worse as they experience both extremes of the weather.
Kilima haikusaidii.
It is the same predicament facing 38-year-old Esther Hadula.
Yani kile kitu kilikuwa hapo ndani ilienda na maji, maana maji yalikuwa mengi, mara yamekuja mengi sana.
An emotion well captured in the sound of her voice as she belts into song.
Kajiza kuhalwa karibani mwalimu.
Having lost everything, it is worse for Isa Adekuyo, who lives by the riverine. Life threw him an unexpected curveball after his wife was attacked by a crocodile, leaving her with only one leg.
Tena ni pale pale ameenda kuchota maji. Siku hiyo ni kama siku zimefika, kaonekana hakuna barabara ingine, lazima hiyo ajali imwapate. Amemweka ulemavu, maana kujaribu kumpoteza, lakini Mungu amekataa. Kila nikiwaza hakuna njia, kila nikiwaza hakuna njia.
She's lucky to be alive, but the adjustment to her new reality has not been easy for the family.
Lakini sasa hawa wenye wildlife head office ndio wakati tansi kwamba hatuwezi kulipa.
The International Organization for Migration and Implementing Partners has since stepped in to support the families through provision of temporary shelter.
We have been providing support to flood-affected people in Tana River with their housing and essential household items needs. People are looking for more sustainable solutions, longer-term solutions. These temporary solutions that we are currently providing, it's not nearly enough, because this has become a recurring issue now. Every year, at least twice, Tana River gets impacted by flooding, and many of these people, they are getting displaced.
We need to have an early warning, early action, sort of a protocol that is applied. Coming here is flowing from the dams, and just by having a meter system that tells them that if water is flowing at 4.5 meters across Garissa Bridge, by the time it gets down to Tana River, which will be about 6 to 9 hours, then it is going to flood certain parts.
The county government, on its part, says it has set aside 5,000 acres of land to establish cluster villages with relevant infrastructure for families to relocate.
The road network within, the water, boreholes, electricity, REREC will come in and provide. The government will also provide ECD facility here, health facilities here, will go like this and come round that building with the green anshets. That's the ward administrator's office. So you don't need to move from here to go anywhere.
At the same time, the County Senator Danson Mungatana is advocating for the construction and maintenance of dams as a lasting solution.
Solution is to control the waters from where they are coming. We must control those waters. So the real big solution is the construction of that dam so that the waters are controlled.
And with the national examinations looming following the reopening of schools for third-term school-going children here are at crossroads.
When the results come, they will give us the same exam they are giving for Nairobi and for other parts of the country which were not affected by the floods. We will continue losing unless something is done.
The plea is for permanent solution to address the perennial challenge of displacement every time the river breaks its banks.
Hapa tulipo hapa, watutafute pahali, watusimamie, tujenge. Kama hata tusimamia haya mabati, ni upande wa miti, tujenge. Tukishajenga sasa, maji yanakuja, huku tutakuwa kama mashambani huko kwenye tuliko huko. Lakini tuko na nyumbani, pa kwenda tukakae, ili tusihatarishe maisha yetu na kizazi chetu.
Families living along Tana River, which is over 1,000 kilometers long and the longest river in Kenya, say it is a source of livelihood and life for thousands of families, flora and fauna. But until this is done, they can only hold into hope that after the rain, the sun will shine again. And this time, it will shine on them and change the story from that of death, destruction and displacement to that of life, reconstruction and resettlement.
And even though it's not within their powers to control the calamities, they sure hope they can be well prepared to face the adverse effects of these calamities. Serafina Robi from Hola, Tana River County for KBC Channel 1.
Thank you, Serafina, from Tana River to Isiolo County. Hundreds of residents of Kambiaju village, Budla Pesa ward in Isiolo County had a reason to smile following a successful free medical camp organized courtesy of a partnership between Mama Alice Initiative, a non-governmental organization, the Northern Frontier Medical Association, NOFMA, and the Rotary Clubs of Isiolo, Rongai, and Gashie. According to Dr. Mudhoni Kimani, the lead doctor at the camp, the medics attended to diseases such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and malnutrition, with the majority of the locals getting access to free services on consultation, pharmacy, and medical checkups. The beneficiaries lauded the initiative for bringing crucial medical services closer to them.
Most of the cases we are seeing are chronic cases like diabetes and high blood pressure, but also a lot of malnutrition and a few acute cases which have needed referral. We have medication. Mainly the medication we have is for the malnutrition, diabetes, hypertension. We also have some antibiotics. Currently we're not able to do a lot of examination, so it's more of diagnosis and managing now chronic illnesses.
Kliniki ya leo ni muhimu kwa kusaidia watu. Kama mimi ni kwa aware about my problem. Na kuna wale ambao nao hawajui kabisa, lakini watajua leo wakitoka hapa.
All right, now, Warrant Officer 1 retired Douglas Murray Kahando served as an armament technician in the Kenya Army immediately after independence. In 1967, Kahando was part of the first troop of soldiers to serve in one Kenya Rifles Battalion. Ben Trenjue visited him in Nanyuki and filed the following report for this week's edition of Military Tales.
We travel about 200 kilometers from Nairobi to Nanyuki.
And to be specific, we are at the equator, which is latitude 0.0 degrees. And this line separates the northern and the southern hemisphere. This line passes through about 13 countries of the world, Kenya included. Nanyuki is a military town, and rightly so, because we have the 1KR here, we have the Laikipia Air Base here, and we also have the Batuk, that is the British Army Training Unit here in Kenya. We are here to meet one military veteran by the name of Douglas Kahando, who is about 80 years old. He was among the first soldiers to join the Kenya Army after independence, and also was among the first officers in the 1KR, which is right here in Laikipia. And he has actually challenged me to a workout after the interview. Let's go.
It's a cold and chilly afternoon, and we are received by one Kenya Army veteran, Warrant Officer 1 retired Douglas Kahando, at his home in Sweetwaters, Nanyuki. Officer Kahando was born 80 years ago in central Kenya.
Mimi nilisaliwa Nyeri, mahali inaitwa Luguru location of Mathira Division. Na nilisaliwa 1944. Na nilikuwa mtoto ya tatu in my father's family. Na my father alikuwa anaitwa Rufus Kahando Mari.
In 1967, Kahando was lucky to be enrolled in the army shortly after independence.
Pia kuna picha ambazo tunaziona za wanajeshi enzi hizo wakivaa kaptula wakati huo. Hebu tupatie taswira ya vile jeshi ilikuwa wakati ulipojiunga nayo.
Kaptula ndio ilikuwa uniform. Ile inaitwa ceremonial, na ilikuwa ni suruali ya kaki. Na hii suruali ya kaki ukiiweka starch, okay? Unaweza kuisimamisha namna hii. Walikuwa wanaisimamisha pale. Ikianguka namna hii, wewe bado kuweka starch. Ilikuwa ndio nguo ile maridadi. Tulikuwa navaa kaptura plus socks mrefu inafika hapo. Okay? Na iko bad, maua iko hapa. Inaonyesha your unit. Mimi nikaigizwa upande ya arms mechanic. Yeah. Ndio ni kutengeneza bunduki. Hiyo inaitwa amla. Amla kijeshi ni food ya bunduki. Small arms and machine guns. Wakati utasoma hizo kubwa, ndio utaigizwa kwa armament technician. For 18 months, tukasoma. By then, upande hiyo ya bunduki ilikuwa na mzungu. Tukaendelea na mzungu akaenda. Tukapata wa Mwafrika. Mimi nikapostiwa 5KR, 5 Kenya Rifles. Yeah, 5KR mimi sikukaa. Nikapostiwa 1KR. Ambayo 1KR sasa ilikuwa wapi?
Hapa Nanyuki.
Ilikuwa hapa Nanyuki. Na already ilikuwa imetoka Nakuru. Imekuja hapa. 1974 nikaitwa para. Kwenda kuruka na maburi. Yeah, na nikaenda na nikaruka.
Among his duties as an armorer was to arm and repair weapons for his unit in readiness for missions.
Kaenda kutengeneza mabunduki Northeastern, 1K ikiwa iko Northeastern, ni tani yao ya kuwa Northeastern. Okay?
Yeah, zile wakati wa mashifta hiyo.
Yeah. Ilikuwa nakaa unit inakaaga 6 months huko. Nikaenda nikatengeneza, ami naye ikachukua hiyo advantage ya mimi kuwa naenda kutengenezea 1KR. Wakataka nisunguke all units.
He was later posted to the Kenya Army Electrical and Mechanical Engineering School, Kaimi.
Sasa nimetoka 1KR, nimeenda back to my mother unit, ambayo ni workshop.
After promotion, the army man later flew abroad to further his training as an armament technician, and upon his return, Kahando became an arms instructor.
Nikapata sasa sponsorship ya kwenda long course, ambaye ni Britain ya 1.5 years. Kazi ya armament technician sasa. Na ikawa sasa naweza simamia nini? Kikosi. Kama hii ya 1KR. Okay. Lakini mimi nikabaki huko Kaimi kufundisha hiyo armament technician.
Ukakuwa instructor sasa?
Nikawa instructor. Kukaa hapo Kaimi kufundisha, nikapata hata utu, na finally nikapostiwa 4th Brigade na nikapata O1. Sasa nikaja 4th Brigade hapa na Nyuki. Nikarudishwa Kahawa, nikaenda kusimamia ile workshop kubwa 86. Alafu nikakaa miaka 5. Ndio nikaritaya.
Hiyo ni 2001.
Having served as a time when part of the military leadership was still under the British command, Kahando notes the change to Kenyan leadership fixed many challenges in the force, including perception.
Kulikuwa na upaguzi ndani yake, sababu an example, good example ni ya kwamba mtu naitwa Major General Doro na Muringe. They were the first people kupata hizo cheo. Na wakapewa cheo ambaye hawageitwa officer. Okay? Walikuwa wamepewa jina Effendi. Au wamepewa hiyo ka sign ya Effendi. Na iko wasungu wamepewa the same kwa sababu ndio my instructor. Na mzungu anapigiwa salute. Doro hagepigiwa salute. Ni officer Mwafrika, hagepigiwa salute. Lakini mzungu of the same rank anapigiwa salute. Kwa jeshi yenyewe kulikuwa kumetengenezwa tu barabara. Okay? Beside the main road. Okay? Waafrika wanapitia njia hii, Wazungu wanapitia ile.
Na uko kwa jeshi moja? Na
muko jeshi moja. Hata ingawa sisi hatukukaa muda mrefu na Wazungu hawa. No. Sababu tulikuta wamebaki moja.
Kahando reminisces on the transformation in the army of the years that has made work easier and more efficient, including on military ranks.
Kitu kama buduki. Hata buduki silikuja tukawacha zile tulikuwa nazo ambaye zilikuwa na bao. Sasa zimekuja ambaye siko na plastic. Kazi ambaye tulikuwa tunafanya sisi kama amra kuchonga hii mabao. Sasa imekuja iko na plastic. Sasa ni kubadilisha.
After close to 35 distinguished years in the army, and reminds soldiers to prepare a safe landing for life after service.
Hiyo kazi haipende kwa sababu ni nzuri. Kwa hivyo vijana ya siku hizi wanaweza kujimudu a safe. Akipata chirigi moja, atumie sumuni afishe somewhere.
In 2012, Kahando was enrolled in Baghdad, Iraq, as a guard under the United States government.
This was 2012. 2011, nikaenda Jordan, nikafanya test ya kwenda Iraq, security, na tukaandikwa na American, na nikakaa huko 2012, nikarudi hapa 16.
A family man, the former army man credits his family for the support.
Niko na familia, niko na watoto 5, vijana 4 na msichana 1.
Kahando reminds Kenyans on the essence of peace.
Middle East ni mahali iko na pesa mingi sana, lakini they don't have peace. Anytime bomu inaweza kulipuka. Zile nichi nimeenda ije, ukisema umetoka Kenya, unaona hiyo mtu amecheja na furahia. Unasikia anakuuliza, can you run? Unamwambia, oh yes, I can run. Up. What?
Even in his advanced age, Kahando is still a fitness guru, a tradition he has kept alive since his time in the army and takes me through part of his fitness regimen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I must admit, I had a real hard time catching up with a veteran. And as to who won the workout, your guess is as good as mine. Since his retirement, he has embarked on business and farming, which keeps him busy in his expansive farm. And as we wrap up the interview, it is evident that this astute soldier is still as energetic as ever and wants the best for the country. For Military Tales, I'm Ben Troenjue.
Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News. In business, the Food and Agriculture Organization has released 194 million shillings for county aggregation and industrial parks in Nyamira and Laikipia. FAO Country Director Nyabenyi Tipo says the industrial parks will increase value addition and reduce post-harvest losses from 40% to 15%.
Used to come out as waste from the banana is now being used for production in other commodities, other handcrafts. So it's no longer a waste that can be thrown away and also maybe destroy the biodiversity.
The farmer produces more. What's the intake? We create further businesses because in linear economy, you only have that many jobs. But once you start circulating the jobs, then circulating the value chain, you create more jobs. You create more jobs opportunity. You create more investment and more value added.
The Food and Agriculture Organization has rolled out a program that involves recycling of farm waste to make animal feed, organic fertilizer, and biodegradable packaging materials. The initiative targets to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in the agriculture value chain, while at the same time increasing income for farmers, as Alan Auko narrates.
The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, indicates that 31% of greenhouse gas emissions stem from food systems, right from cultivation to consumption. To help reduce carbon emissions, development partners have devised ways of enticing farmers to embrace sustainable farming practices.
We are looking at biodiversity loss, we are looking at climate change impacts, we are looking at pollution and all the effects that it has on us.
In the program, farmers are being trained to use tomatoes that would otherwise go to waste to make ketchup, bananas or orange peels to make animal feeds, rice husks to make compost or organic fertilizer, pineapple crowns to make biodegradable packaging materials, or other food waste to produce a bioenergy.
And we are looking forward to working with different players in this sector. We are hoping to collaborate with the national and county government. Policies around waste management. We know we have the Waste Management Act that has been rolled out and is being taken down to the counties. How can we scale that up and ensure that everyone understands what is going on in terms of waste management?
Koskei says the 193 million shillings initiative, which is also being supported by the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, and International Organization for Migration, IOM, is promoting a circular economy in agribusiness by encouraging farmers to use food waste to produce new products.
And in line with the circular economy, of course, among the things we are looking at, number one, is how to reduce waste. Because much of it is being wasted, and the farmer is not getting value for the investment they are making.
The farmers, the producers, and even the processors are doing it at a small scale. So we are looking at, once the pack is complete, now they can now go at a large scale, at a full scale, But currently the farmers are, the producer groups are still doing the circular economy.
The initiative is rooting for alternative methods of farming, such as regenerative farming and climate-smart agriculture, to boost yields and income while reducing emissions for a viable future for the planet. Alanauko, Lunchtime News.
African leaders are arriving in China for the highly anticipated Forum on China-Africa Cooperation FORAC, seeking to deepen ties between the world's second-largest economy and the rich resource African continent. The leaders are looking to secure new deals and investments amid heightened global competition for Africa's resources and influence.
The Forum on China-Africa Cooperation FORAC, set to begin on Wednesday, will be China's largest diplomatic gathering since the COVID-19 pandemic, featuring African leaders, including South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, and Kenya's William Ruto. Over the past decade, China has poured billions of dollars into African infrastructure projects, from railways to hydroelectric plants, in exchange for access to the continent's abundant natural resources. While these investments have spurred development, they have also ignited controversy of the rising debt burdens on many African nations. African countries are eager to tap into China's economic power to fuel their growth, yet the forum comes at a time when Beijing is becoming more cautious about extending large-scale loans due to its own economic slowdown. This shift making the forum a key opportunity for African leaders to negotiate more favorable terms and address concerns over mounting debt. China remains Africa's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade reaching $168 billion in the first half of 2024. However, China has been resistant to offering substantial debt relief, even as some African nations, such as Kenya, struggle to meet their repayment obligations. Kenya's President William Ruto is expected to address these challenges at the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, with analysts predicting that he will push for more favorable loan terms from China to alleviate the financial pressure on the country. Beyond economic concerns, the forum is also expected to address the growing geopolitical tensions that could shape Africa's future. With the United States and China increasingly at odds over issues ranging from trade to Taiwan, African nations find themselves caught in the crossfire. Trevor Ngendo for Lunchtime News.
Welcome to Channel 1 Sports. Faith Chepchirchir and Titus Kiprotich emerged victorious in the Mozart Rediscover Nandi 10-kilometer road race held in Kapsabet, Nandi County. Chepchirchir won the race after clocking 35 minutes, 30.2 seconds ahead of Edna Chepkemei, who finished second, while Titus Kiprotich from Elgeyo Marakwet won the men's category. The race started at Kapsasur, while the finish line was at Namgoi Secondary School. The road race was used to sensitize the public on environmental conservation.
Tarajio mazuri kwa kuwa kuna champions wengi wametoka katika walikuwa wakiparticipate kwa mbio na wamekuwa champion sasa. So mimi niko na hiyo matumaini ya kwamba siku moja hata mimi nitakuwa champion.
Tumeshiriki mbio ya leo. Ilikuwa ni hard sana, lakini niling'ang'ana kabisa. Niling'ang'ana yangu yote.
This race brings about, growing the talents for the youth, especially across the country and more so in the North Rift.
So we are happy to support and to be proudly partner with such an initiative, which are sponsoring youth.
Kwale County government is collaborating with other leaders to help the youth develop their talents and earn a living through football. This was revealed at the inauguration of the new board of management of SS Assad Football Club. SS Assad Football Club President Richard Onsongo says through a budget of 15 million shillings, they are trying to give capacity to players and make sure there are no restrictions that prevent them from playing and bringing fame to Kwale County.
Siku ya leo tunaanza officially kuanza kucheza, tunazindua timu ya kwenda kucheza pamoja na kids zao, tukishirikiana na gavana wetu na mbunge wetu na viongozi wengine, kwa sababu tuko trustees 15 zote tukija pamoja, hawa vijana watapata shida ambayo walipata.
Sisi kama viongozi tutakwenda kushirikiana na timu ya SS Assad na timu nyingine zote za hapa Msambweni na Kwale kwa jumla, ili kuweza kukuza vipaji ya hawa vijana wetu wa Msambweni.
Mathare North United won the Nairobi region to Jamini Chezadimba tournament held at the Dandora Stadium. The side defeated Plains FC 3-0 in the final to walk away with a 3-year sponsorship worth 250,000 shillings annually. En route to the final, Mathare North United beat Zimmerman, All Stars and Indomitable FC. Michael Itieng was the top scorer for Mathare North United with 5 goals. Mathare North United coach David Onyango praised his charges for their resilience throughout the tournament. The founder of DBA Africa, Suzanne Halagad, emphasized the importance of Tujamini initiative of long-term talent nurturing and development goals. The Tujamini Chezadimba tournament now heads to Nyanza region as it nears the culmination in next 3 months.
Focus about Tujamini is trying to change somebody's life and trying to make an impact and just empowering the youth. And that's the reason as to why we are here today.
There is a need for more investment, more help, and also for clubs. So we found some amazing clubs where 200 to 300 children are involved in training, but they need simple things like shoes or kit. And I think with a little bit of help, they can really do a lot more and progress and become even better at what they do.
Tujamini and the policy for football are 2 different things, but yes, it can in different ways, in the sense that we are trying to get into the grassroots levels. We are trying to get into the grassroots levels. It's not about just coming to support the teams that are on a higher side, but trying to get into the grassroots level.
Handicap 5 home player Major retired Peter Waweru carded an excellent round of 35 points to claim top prize at the 19th qualifying leg of the 2024 NCBA Golf Series held at the Scenic Nanyuki Sports Club. Veteran Waweru delivered an outstanding performance, fending off a stiff challenge from Moses Muthoki, who had to settle for the runner-up position in Division 1 after also returning 35 points playing off a handicap of 7. Stephen Mutethia emerged the winner in Division 2 after scoring an impressive 37 points. Purity Githui led the ladies with 35 points, securing her victory in the female division. 120 golfers graced the greens for a chance to qualify for the grand finale, scheduled to be held at the Muthaiga Golf Club on the 29th of November 2024. Coco Gauff's U.S. Open title defense is over after losing to Emma Navarro in the 4th round in New York. Third seed Gauff produced a disjointed performance, losing 6-3, 4-6, 6-3 to fellow American and 13th seed Navarro. Gauff hit